What's up, guys? Sub-Zero here, back for another VOD review. Today, doing a fun one. So this is a VOD from Ramblinnn, who has done very well in tournaments in the past, is decently high ranked, high diamond right now on NA, and this was actually a few days ago. You can also see, part of the reason I wanted to do this VOD review is because if you look on the right there, I was in this game, and I saw Ramblinnn playing this comp, and I was like, I kind of want to watch this game back because this comp performed very well, and I think it's very under the radar, especially because this is a Fast 9 option, and Fast 9 is really, I think this patch is so much, in most people's estimation, about rerolling, about these, Fast 8 comps, stuff like, Sorcerer obviously does so well. Also feels a little bit bad. We sold off a bunch of our crew units, then we end up getting a lot of crew units. And I really do like crew in this portal, Scuttle Puddle. When you have a lot of extra gold, you feel really good about, being able to actually get to your 3-star crews units and stuff like that. But not what we're going to end up going for this game. First, augment here. I'm not ever going to take the Edgelord one. Caretakers and Piercing Sight. I mean, I think Caretakers, especially when you are in Scuttle Puddle, you can guaranteed make it to 8 totally fine. I like this a lot. Itemization-wise, from a Slam's perspective, I mean, with this AP opener, you could be looking at just, making AP items, making, JG and playing into Sorks. I think that's the easiest default option. Then Bow becomes Void, and then this becomes a tank item, Protector's Vow, ideally. With Caretakers, you might have enough tiers to actually make it there. I do kind of like Piercing Sight a little bit, but yeah, he immediately snaps that up. I will say, 3 Malphites, 2 Sivers. You can't really play crew and with Caretakers, it's just not going to work from a leveling perspective. So you're not really able to do that, sadly. But maybe in a different life we could have gone for that. I don't even remember what I played this game, by the way. We pick up Standalone here. Usually good to just have some kind of power up on your front line. Tends to feel very good. Especially when, we could theoretically even Gwynsu Steadfast here. So those are going to be our slams for Ramblinnn. It's interesting because I think Gwynsu's, prior to this GP comp becoming a thing, I think a lot of people, weren't that excited about it. And now we have, this GP comp that you can play into with Gwynsu's. You have just Jhin reroll that you can play into with Gwynsu's, which, once again, I don't think we really want to play a reroll line from this spot, but it's something that you could think about. But yeah, there's actually a lot more Gwynsu lines that are viable. But I will say, outside of straight up Fast 9, and reroll, there's no real level 8 Gwynsu board. You have to play Ash Juggernauts. Yuck. I've just never seen that comp do well at all. So hopefully, we're in a Scuttle Puddle. We're already making 20 gold here. If Ramblinnn can actually win streak with this board, it does open up the possibility of him being able to, actually, go Fast 9 and play around this Gwynsu's. And then, you have Twisted Fate, who's a great Gwynsu's holder that you can get to later. So yeah, there's a lot of options there once you do, get to level 9. This is what I played this game. I said investment strategy Kale, just because Scuttle Puddle, you have a bunch of extra gold to work with. You can investment strategy already start scaling up all the frontliners. I like it a lot. And I had a few Kale copies and a Gwynsu, so I said, why not investment strategy Kale? I think this is a good line to play this game. I like this Kale comp a lot. I think it is above average. And with all the people contesting each other for Mentor, for all these other new lines, I think it's very frequent that you end up getting it uncontested. Item-wise here, you'd love to take something that you could throw onto Malphite. Just the chain would be fine. If not that, we could take the... I'm looking at the chain. He's going to take Tyr here. Interesting. Okay. Tyr does make a very good tank item, and we'll see. We don't end up getting it. You could make, the Spirit Visage, but we don't end up getting Belt here, so we have to kind of settle for Adaptive Helm. I imagine he would have preferred Spirit Visage, but hey, Adaptive Helm can at least play into AP carry, so maybe that's something there. And we level up and get the Wraith in here. I will say, this is such an emblematic game from Ramblinnn of this patch, where so many people are trying to force their reroll lines that it's kind of free for you to win streak in a spot like this. I will say there isn't anyone with a crazy GP setup this game, I think, so that's at least nice for Ramblinnn, where he doesn't have to rotate into that. Or maybe they do exist, but we just have dodged them so far. But a relatively... Yeah, okay, so there is one GP player, Casper, who we have not rotated into yet. Oh yeah, and Casper was Crystal Gambit emblem of this game. Rotating Appies here, who has double Death Cap Katarina with the Death Cap augment. This is kind of woke here, and it's just this Katarina just tearing through our board. I think we are. Well, actually, Malphite's got it, right? Yeah, Malphite clutches out with Mouse as well. So that is a 5 streak, making 40 We do also pick up a Karma here, but a little too late to end up playing Karma. We've made a Gwinsu's already, just doesn't really make sense. So, I mean, just a cool early game from Ramblinnn. You know, this is not a very common opener, protectors plus snipers. It's, you know, not one of those cookie cutter ones, but I mean, you hit upgrades, you slam good items on units, and sometimes in a lobby like this, you can 5-streak and you end up getting a lot out of it. Pick up a Rise here, which, you know, could come in as just a random +1 here. Look for just another Slam here in the spot, which is what going to be Guard Breaker here. Yeah, I mean, another one of those items that just very flexibly strong here, and we opt to just end up playing the 3 sniper actually on this board here, and we're looking at maybe making 50 gold on level 6. I mean, in Scuttle Puddles, everyone's rich, but we are especially rich here. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think around now is when you can start thinking about fast nining, though obviously losing this fight makes it harder. You have Scuttle Puddle, but you need a lot of gold to roll on 9 to be able to actually do that. So maybe even like Econ Augment here, a late game specialist, would really like confirm our ability to go 9. And yep, that is the immediate pickup from Ramblinnn, because yeah, like prior to this, it's quite hard for us to go 9. And oh, is he gonna team player out the board and then we can talk about it? I mean, I think he might. Okay, so Gnar, Janna, Swain, Braum, Varus, TF, Zyra, K Sante, and he doesn't have a strat in, right? But this is what he's gonna team planner out for now. So what is this board? I mean, one, there's this kind of hilarious thing where you get 3 Crystal Gambit in, which is pretty cool. It does play around this nice snipers package where you're playing around Varus, so you play around Gnar and Braum very easily. Gnar is just the best extra sniper you could play in because you get Luchador in for Braum, which is really relevant in late game. And then Swain ends up kind of combining a lot of good traits on this board. He's Bastion on the board for Braum. Crystal Gambit doesn't really matter. You can even play stuff like Gwen on this board, and then you have Sorcerer in off of the Swain. But then you can also play stuff like Strategist as well, and then, you know, get Strategist value onto the entire board. But the other piece of this, right, we have all of this. We have Cassante, who connects Wraith here and is connected to Protector via the Janna, so you have that done. And Zyra's a great support unit. But TF is this last unit, the last kind of piece of the puzzle here, that's different from the Varus comp that I reviewed a few days ago, where people would fast 9 and just go around Varus main carry, maybe Varus like Cassante duo carry, stuff like that. Twisted Fate, actually a very good carry in his own right, does very well with AD items actually, and we can talk about itemizing him later, and he does throw Jarvan in as the last unit. I think that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I mean, TF optimal itemization usually ends up being Gwinsu IE +1, which is interesting because I mean, you know, league brain, I think of TF as being an AP unit, but he does mixed damage. He does AP and AD damage, and getting the AD from IE plus the ability for a spell to crit is really nice. So tends to be what you go for onto Twisted Fate, which is so interesting. You can throw Gunblade onto him. You can throw like Guardbreaker onto him, is obviously good if you're going IE as well. You can throw stuff like Giant Slayer on him. I believe stuff aside of IE that like actually like directly raises his AD. I mean, here we can explore it real quick here. But I believe stuff like Kraken's is like okay, but not amazing on him. But yeah, I mean, let's look. And yeah, you can see this Gwinsuai, his most built items by far. Red buff, really nice. Yeah, to get that bounce. You can see like AP stuff like Shojin, not very good. He's more of an auto attack base carry. And yeah, Kraken's also looks pretty rough, pretty low percent. You know, I mean, when an item is low play rate and it has positive delta, it tends not to be very good. So yeah, you look at builds and you see things like this. Gwinsu, IE Guard Breaker. And yeah, Kraken's just doesn't look that good. I don't think his scaling with AD is all that great. But yeah, even stuff like this, Gwinsu Gunblade GS works, Gwinsu IE GS, all that kind of stuff. So you can just throw your items onto him. If you do make a Shojin, that's fine, because that can end up onto the Varus that you're going to play for and duo carry them. And that's the other piece of this, is that the way Twisted Fate's autos work is it bounces between 3 units, and then he ends up detonating the marks that he gets from autoing. And what this often means is that if they don't have a really, like, a ton of units on their front line that are tanking, then Twisted Fate can bounce his autos to backline, and we already know that Varus has a lot of backline access. So what ends up happening a lot of time with this TF comp is that Twisted Fate and Varus kind of double team the enemy backline, and all of a sudden, like, you're sniping out units that, you know, if they don't have a unit with healing on the backline, they do just end up dying, which is, I mean, it's crazy, but it ends up working. And especially if you get that like last like Gwen carry in, now that's a situation where you need like, you know, an insane amount of items to get there. So most of the time you can't end up, you know, triple carrying Gwen as well, but that's another unit that obviously provides you that backline access. If you can get to third cast Gwen, she's going to snipe out a lot of stuff. So yeah, we pick up Chain here. It's interesting though, it wasn't for Gargoyle. I kind of thought he was just going to make Gargoyle here, but maybe he's concerned about making stuff like Sunfire stuff like Evan's Shroud here. And I mean, to be fair, we don't have a huge streak to play for or anything like this. So we can always just wait 2 rounds and then, go to minions here. We do pick up a 2-star Swain, which is really nice. We don't actually have the Bastion to play for him. So it is just a naked Swain traits wise at least. And yeah, we do swap around our board a little bit here. Midas touch onto Jhin. I mean, this late into the game is a little bit rough, but it's not the end of the world. Hey, at least Swain's getting some like shielding from strategist Pog. And then honestly, this is a fun this is like a cool board. I mean, the crew is obviously not doing much on this board, but he's really just playing the units that he has. I mean, this random Udyr on the board just for mentor. It's a weird board, but I mean, it's good enough for now, and with Scuttle Puddle, good enough to hopefully make us to 9. I mean, still is a pretty sketchy fast 9, I will say. If I was in Ramblinn's spot, I would be kind of sweating because I am very afraid that I'm actually like going to make it to 9 with enough gold, and HP really is the big thing, right? Because we could probably 4-5 it with enough gold to just barely make it to 9. But I mean, not even really, honestly. Yeah, you can see here, we're pretty broke. Yeah, how does Ramblin stick this landing, actually? This is scary. IE, good, and he does end up actually making Dragon's Claw, so that's what he wanted. And then we have a Morello's that we can slam. I mean, Morello's is an always slam. Declaw is so good, by the way. I mean, it's probably obvious to most people, but all of the strong level 8 comps are AP. The only thing you have to worry about these days is there are more of these AD reroll comps popping up, like Gangplank and things like that. So sometimes you do end up in a lobby with a few AD players, but really, I mean, there's guaranteed to be like at least 3 people playing AP in your lobby, and usually it's more like 4, sometimes 5 if there's like a GP player and some other AD reroller. I don't really like any of these. I mean, I wouldn't mind Econ, though. 4-2 gold. There's not many Econ augments that exist here. I mean, bronze for life on this board. Yeah, how many bronze? It's not amazing. I mean, 4-5 traits I can count. He threw... Wait, what did he throw in at the end there? He just threw an extra... Oh, he said I can cut... Oh, no. Once he puts Swain back in, yeah, it's 7 traits. I mean, that's pretty good, honestly. Bronze for life value, 7 traits, 21% damage amp to your entire board. I mean, compare that to something like Know Your Enemy. That's way better. But he doesn't go for it. Wow. Wait. Interesting. Item collector. I mean, to be fair, we do have a ton of items. I just don't like this augment that much. I mean, what does it end up being on this board? Unique item that we're holding. Your team gains 5 HP, 1 AD, 1 AP. And we have 7 right now, really like 8, maybe 9 with this. So like 9 items. I mean, 45. I mean, 65 HP. I read this and it always sounds horrible. Yeah, I don't understand item collector. Just in general, like it seems like a worse. I mean, it works a lot of things, but a lot of augments like this read badly, but they are actually pretty solid just because it's an entire team buff. Not bad. Tier here is going to be Vow for our Yarvin, or our, we also have the opportunity to put that onto the Braum later as well. Last Whisper comes down here because we are lacking Armor Shred, and so, I mean, our items look fantastic. The only thing is we are carrying a 2-star Jhin. He's actually not doing half bad. We get cleared by Casper here, who also doesn't have a ton of like Crystal Gambit stacks or anything like that. I wonder how far, actually. Let's go back and look at Casper and see how many Crystal Gambit he is in his spot, because this is something that's obviously really scary. He's 5, right? Yeah, he's 5 Crystal right now. So, I mean, a little scary, but it seems like it's... I mean, I don't know what his kill number is, actually. He could have like just... he could have had this in for a while. He could have just got this in. So you gotta watch for... obviously, Crystal Gambit +1 can easily win games for free if you let it. But, I mean, still a pretty good loss. Pick up Kayssante here so we can play around this for a while. Also, yeah, we get items off of the Ziggs because he's just really not doing that much. Oh, we've hit 4 Sniper. Wait, this board's kind of cool. Oh, he drops out of 4 Sniper. I mean, right now, we're playing 3 Wraith. But I mean, you have to play the Kayssante on this board, and then the Zac is just a heavyweight for the extra front line. So, I mean, I don't completely mind it, even though it looks a tad bit awkward, and he wants to keep the Janna in. I mean, yeah, we have to play the Janna for Protector. There's no way we cannot. All right. Down to 41 HP here. This is what I was saying. This is a sketchy 9 spot. Also, my spot gets so sketchy. I'm down to 38 HP, but I do have an infinite scaling augment that's going to give me more HP every single round, so don't worry about me. That is a Twisted Fate on Carousel, by the way, if you can get it, and I feel like this solves so many problems for us. all of a sudden we have this TF that we can itemize. We can play for him as our main carry here. This also, you know, finding this TF means we don't need to find another TF later. We are going to level here and start using our rolls. It's still not a ton of gold to roll. Pick up a Lee Sin here. It can be an extra frontliner. TF2 is huge, though. This puts so much. Oh, my God. And we pick up the Varus here. It was so scary, but we made it. LW really, really nice onto Twisted Fate, by the way, because he, once again, he has those autos that bounce all around, so he spreads it really, really well. Always put LW onto Twisted Fate in this comp, so this setup looks pretty good for him. Though I will say we take a bad loss from Blast at Moon's level 9 board down to 28, and we need frontline, right? Our frontline is terrible right now, and he is also just going to start cutting units, just saying, okay, I don't need the rest of these in my planner. I have my Gnar already. There's Zyra. Oh, there is the frontline that we need. We pick up the Cassante. There's the Braum as well. All right, stuff is coming here. We do have a Shen 2 on our board for now, who is a little bit depressing, but we are going to move the adaptive, interesting, onto Varus. That makes sense. And he's actually going to keep items on Swain for now, interestingly, over the Cassante too, to be itemized. It's surprising, but maybe he doesn't want to have to move the power up or something. But I mean, you can see versus somebody like me who's so cool and good at TFT, but they just sniped out my Kale this fight. Like, I couldn't do anything. My Kale just did not have, I don't think I have healing built on the Kale like Gunblade. The only healing I'm getting is via Wraith. And so it's just impossible for her to survive the onslaught of autos here. Okay, and we do finally move the power up off of Swain here. Going to put it on. Well, we'll see, actually. You could maybe duo carry here. I would want to put it on frontline, but we'll see here. That's Varus too. That is a big hit as well. Rest of our items, I mean, another Protector's Vow doesn't sound that bad. I mean, just Redemption here. And then we're just going to have 3 real tank items. Yeah, okay, fair. Oh, Archangel, actually. And yeah, he is going to double. He is going to double carry. Oh, he does get the... Okay, I thought the second Varus wasn't going to spawn in time. To be fair, this might be worse where it just baited the Katarina into backline. But oh my God, I mean, you can see... My cat is being crazy in my room. The amount of damage that Varus does, the amount of damage that TF does. I mean, our Varus got literally blown up for free there and it was totally fine. But now, hey, we can position both Varuses. I don't know if I love Shadow Clone on Varus just because it's very awkward to get. I mean, you can put them like this in the corners and do exactly this. It's like a tiny bit sketchy, but it works. And we've stabilized. We are 27 HP. The upside, though, every fight we win, we do have the Brahmins. We're getting that extra 2 kind of almost healing from the Braum. So that's really big. And you can see when this board is online, it clears, man. All we needed was the Twisted Fate 2 to really stabilize us. Then hitting the Varus 2 obviously gets us really strong. And Ramblinnn does like the duo carry variant of this, just power up wise, where you're powering up both backliners and just not really worrying about powering up frontliners. I would say a Jarvan 2 would be really nice in terms of just having enough frontline to buy enough time so that your backline can actually get going here. But I mean, you'll see. I mean, this is a great fight to test it out. I will say this board does look crazy from Bruce Lull. So yeah, I think this is going to be the one that we do end up losing because I mean, look at that Gwen 2 with a Radiant GS. I mean, this comp we're looking at's good, but I don't know if it's better than, you know, Gwen 2 with a Radiant GS. I mean, that is just disgusting. Okay. Carousel here, Luchaspat doesn't do much. We could just take another Zyra item, random blue buff to get her casting. Hodge because we can't get the blue buff. I don't know where the Hodge ends up going, though. I guess you could move Adaptive off Varus and just give him Hodge. And we do have the cash here. Gives us a little bit of extra gold to work with. It does, you know, give us enough for the Jarvan. I always tend to evaluate this as like basically nothing. You know, whenever interesting. He's going to move the pure tank items over to Jarvan. I mean, the Vow, obviously, fantastic on him. But yeah, I tend to think Crystal Gambit on these boards is completely worthless, but it isn't really. Like, if it farms you, you know, some gold there, I mean, that extra gold allowed us to hit a 2-star Jarvan potentially, or, you know, maybe it farms you some components or something, and then, like, any component here allows us to complete this cloak item. Like, it's actually not nothing. Oh, he does up to frontline the John. I actually like this a lot. We saw this in one of the other games that we've reviewed, where, you know, like if you have strat in and you have like these kind of useless like backliner strategist, it's actually very good to just frontline them and then get the value out of, you know, putting them frontline. All right, this is me against Ramblinnn here. My Kale is, yeah, it's just JG Gwynsu, so it's very hard for her. Oh yeah, this fight, I'm pretty sure I was just watching my Kale do damage, and then, I mean, look, like my frontline is still alive, but she just gets sniped through everything. Like, my frontline lived the entire time, but it didn't matter. TF plus Varus just killed. Oh, and once again, another hyperscaler type unit. This TF can farm you. I mean, farming a full item is so good. I don't actually know where the Kraken ends up going. I guess his idea is he's going to move Morello over to Zyra, and then it's going to go Kraken onto TF, but we'll see here. Roll down here, really looking for like the Braum 2. We do finally hit it, and then aside from that, I mean, we have last few Zyra items to make, so yeah, the Kraken's going to move over, the Sterak's is going to move up here, and then we can blue buff Zyra. Yeah, beautiful here. And we'll see. I mean, Brucelol is the board to beat. This board seems so tough. Oh, well, we really need Jarvan to be casting on the Gwen. Like, you saw their Jarvan cast on the Gwen, and this fight almost looks winnable. It is winnable, okay. This was clone, though, so we'll see what it ends up looking like in the real fight. But yeah, it is actually winnable. There it is. We farm a component off of, that was actually off TF, not off Crystal Gambit, but we farm that, and boom, all of a sudden we have a full Gargoyles here. I mean, so many items this game. It's crazy how high this board caps out, just because between Crystal Gambit and TF, you're actually just printing stuff. But can we do it here? The Jarvan got a big ult off. I mean, TF's doing decent work there, but oh my god, the Gwen ult. Bad loss here, but we do live, and we do get another cash here. Boom. Mundo 2 is pretty worthless, I will say, but maybe not nothing. All right, we got to look for good Braum ult and good Jarvan ult are the big things. He's actually moving stuff to the back line just to kind of absorb some of this other stuff and maybe not overcrowd our front line. I mean, he's trying to bait Jarvan ult over onto the left side there. That's the idea behind this, and then trying to put our Jarvan into a good spot here. Their Jarvan's on the right side. I think it's still going to jump left here. Yeah, so it doesn't end up hitting our most important stuff. But, I mean, the big thing is our front line just melts like cheese, man. Melts like cheese. I mean, I guess cheese melts as well. But I mean, still very solid second and a cool game from Ramblinnn showing off. I mean, this very strong Fast 9 comp. I think this is one of the strongest, best variants of Fast 9 that exists out there. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my Twitch and Metafy. All my links down below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching.